Hello, my name's Kevin. I'm the YouTube cripple, and I am with,
Bizarro Czar.
and we are going over my life history. Um,
Guess we're in high school now.
I'm in high school.
Oh, I'm
I,
not even
I'm
a twinkling in my mother's eye at this
I,
point.
I I'm reverting back to my former. No, I don't want to do that. Those um in high school, I was pretty pissed. Um, I knew I was really different from the other kids. They had so much more freedom. They were able to work, earn money, to cheese my butt. And, there seemed to be so much available to them that I became very envious. And I did have one good friend, Buck. But college, we kind of split ways. And to get into college, I was helped by some teachers who were like um, listening to me talk. For example, when lunchtime came, I didn't eat with the rest of the kids. In fact, I had not been eating with the rest of the kids for like 3 years. I'd go find somewhere to eat on my own because I just I could not. It was hard to be around the other kids. Um, in seventh grade, I got tired of them having me throw up, and so there was an atrium. I just leave, go eat lunch, come back, and after a while, the teachers kind of caught on, like, "Oh wow, where's the kid in the wheelchair?" And then they would, one come out, "Hey, you okay?" Yeah, I'm fine, just doing my thing, and it's like, "Oh, okay." Um, but there was a gulf of ability that was starting to really take off. Um, that was hard.
Yeah.
And we're good into so dad. He always knew I was smart, but he had a hard time engaging me because um, it's just hard. Um, so my teachers became my friends, and when I'm like, so Dad was like, "Hey, so what are your plans about?" I'm like, when I was about 17 or 16, I'm just like, I don't know, finish high school because I didn't understand how long it took to get into college. Um, so I thought, well, I'd apply after high school. Oh, no, 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 no. You got to apply in the fall of the previous year. I was like, whoa, why does that take so long? So, introduction to bureaucracy. So my teachers got together and they, shuffled me over to DSHS, which is the government system to go to college. Um, that's where if you can't afford or you got issue, obviously I had an issue. And I went over there. Guy's like, okay, well, sign this, do this. And so I'm sitting there, and my aide Judy was like putting things together, making notes, and one day I show up to school, and it's like, hey, Kevin, come with me. I'm like, all right, what are we doing? You're taking the SAT. You and Judy sit here. Oh, okay. It was like there were things going on in the background. I was unaware. One day I showed up and it was like, "Hey, Kevin, you're going to Eastern." I'm like, "Where?" In another town, like 100 miles away. Scooped me in the car, put me in the car. I drove, and we ended up driving there. My dad had no idea. Or if he did, he didn't tell me, which was also an option. And I went there and I was shown this is where you stay. These are classes. Here's your thing. And it was exciting, but um, I didn't know how it was all going to go. So I just kind of went with it. That summer after graduation, we went to the Social Security office and I transferred custody from my dad to the government. And they gave me money and I went from there to college. And that was interesting. My first caregiver paid for by the government was a pretty nice guy, but we had some significant difficulties. He was very flamboyantly gay, and I was very unflamboyantly redneck. And that was definitely a different world to go into, and so
Yeah.
trying to negotiate that. Um, I had a roommate for a while, but I had a way of sleeping through my alarm, so that didn't last long. Well, I was so tough that I would outsuffer anyone around me. And they're like, "Oh, Kevin, you're socially awkward. Kevin, you're this." And I'm like, "Okay, tell me something I don't know. Um, Tell me how to fix it." I used to hang out with some nice people. There were some drinkers in the dorm. I hung out with them. That was fun. Um, Lots of rowdy and raunchy stories there. But I mean, but I also got wooed by the Christian club, which were the RAs, resident advisors, and I'd hang out with them half the time. So it's kind of drinking some weekends and other weekends, hanging out with the Christians, and that was. And we would watch Saturday Night Live and played penny poker until 2, 3 in the morning. That was fun. I never liked Saturday Night Live. I thought it was okay to have in the background, but it wasn't until later that I know people that just kind of, "Oh, Saturday Night Live, so awesome." I'm
Did you
just
know
like,
that? Did
hmm,
you did you know that oh gosh,
hmm.
I've been enjoying the Weekend Report,
Oh yes.
all the Norm Macdonald clips.
Oh, he was amazing.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: to get to Norm Macdonald, you guys sit
Did you know
through
that O.J. Simpson raped and killed his girlfriend or whatever it was? It's like,
his wife.
his wife, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's like
and
he
the other.
kept repeating it over and over again.
Well,
His like a producer or something on
yes.
the the show played golf with OJ, so he didn't want it. It's like,
Well,
you know.
I think there's something to be said about people that if they like you, they're not going to speak ill of you, but there are limits to that.
I think murder and yeah, that's probably one of the
Murdering
limits.
two people because you don't like the guy dating your wife.
Yeah. I mean, I can.
We gotta understand. We gotta be civil.
Yeah. Do we?
Well, we do. Otherwise, we have anarchy. Anarchy gives rise to tribalism. How big's your tribe? How big's the other tribe?
This is why we need civil defense.
Hmm?
This is why we need civil defense.
And we were talking about that earlier, yes.
I'm derailing this conversation. I
Yeah.
apologize.
No, it's okay. So in my first year of college, I mean, I was I met some nice people. I was definitely not real well. I was not smooth. I was not nice. I was trying to get through college, not understanding all the social dynamics. For example, one time I went into a physics. I was going to take astronomy, and this is how obtuse I was. The professor was like, "Oh, you in the wheelchair, you're not in my class." I'm like, "The hell I'm not. Is this not your number?" "Yes, that's my number, but you're not in my class." And, and I'm like, "But here's the number." "Yes, but you're not in my class." I'm in the right class. It's the right time. I'm here. And he kind of shrugs and goes off. And
What?
yeah, he was trying to discriminate against me.
Oh, wow.
He was trying to give me social cues. And I just was like, "What? What do you mean I'm not in your class? This is what it says." And it was really funny. I have my revenge later because we used to. So there was a show called 90210.
Mm-hmm.
And my friends used to like to drink on those 90210s. And they would play a game called Sideburns. And Sideburns was every time you saw a sideburn in a shot, you had to drink. 6, 7, 8 years later per episode. And yeah, that was fun. One time going home, back to my dorm, I hit a brick wall with my foot, and they're all like, "Ooh, ooh, Kevin, you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll feel that in the morning."
Yeah.
And they're just like, "We love you." So I was getting status and adulation
Can you
for
get a
being a good drunk.
Can you get a DUI from
Yes.
driving this thing
My
under the influence?
my uncle told me, my uncle's a cop, hey, Uncle John. My uncle told me that if he saw me drinking and driving, he'd throw me in the drunk tank. And no, he
Is he gonna
didn't.
take you out of your wheelchair?
Oh, well, did I tell the story about how I got out of getting in the drunk tank by peeing myself?
Yeah. We talked about that last time.
Okay. He wouldn't care. He never cared. I used one time as a kid. I went out with him and his friends, and they sat me while they were out playing in the snow. They all had me sit on their coats. Bad idea. I peed all over their coats. It's like, "Kevin, why didn't you tell us?" And it's like, "But y'all look like you're so busy." Yeah, I know. Um, Nobody wants to be a buzzkill, let alone a 9-year-old with a full bladder.
But you were willing to be a blazer kill.
What?
You were willing to be a blazer kill though.
Blazer kill.
People on their coats, blazers. Sorry.
Yeah, well,
Bad jokes. That's my.
it wasn't blazers. We're up a white pass. He has a whole bunch of winter coats.
Oh, okay.
They probably threw them away. Yeah, I sucked them all really good. I am very sorry for my sins. But when you're a kid, I mean, you're just thinking, I don't want to bother people, and that was a thing. But anyway, growing up, trying to do the right thing, trying to, um, grow in stature. Um, it's
Yeah, so
hard.
you were you got
Mm.
points for being a
I
fun
drew.
drunk.
Well, I got points for being for the fact that I could. I wasn't a wimp. I wasn't down on myself constantly. I'm like, oh, somebody could say, hey, Kevin, and make fun of me and laugh at it too. I could do that.
Yeah.
Um, so many people are so serious about themselves that they lose their ability to laugh, and I never lost that.
Yeah. It's good.
I hope. I don't know. We got a bunch of resentful nitwits out there doing a bunch of crap. I'm not liking that. But I went from Central. No, I went from. So, my second year of college, I went from Eastern to Central. And Ellensburg, that was. I think I already told you how I came to that geography department because the guy at Eastern, the chair, was like,
Our
"Oh, you don't want to come here."
right. Yeah, you mentioned he's
Right.
like our department's a joke or something like that.
Well, it's not ready for people like you. Is
Oh,
you
okay. So their
know,
handicap services weren't
quite up to par.
got it.
They got ramps, but as far as putting pen to paper and actually providing service, no,
Hmm.
not really. Um, and at the time, I used my but what we did is we used caregiver hours to also be not tutors but aides, and so
Hmm.
we traded hours for help my son go through college,
Yeah.
and the guy was pretty good about it, but he wanted money. He was just like, yeah, I'll go to college again. Sure.
Yeah, right.
But we just but going from there to Central, um, I told you that story about the woman that was caring for me.
And how her other client said she couldn't be your
Right.
your caregiver.
Well, did I tell you what she said?
I'm paying you to be my friend or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. People get pretty possessive over their caregiver. It's like budding romantic relationships. Although I wouldn't mind it, but um, there's something comforting about knowing where your care is coming from, knowing that your care is about being cared for instead of you're my paycheck.
Right.
Tell me what I gotta do.
Yeah.
What else? More. Oh, well, I went to Central. It was a much better school. I lived in North Hall. It was fun. It was really fun. I used to have knockdown, drag out arguments all the time at the dining hall. I Oh, I love the dining hall because it's like the forum meets cafeteria. And you get together with your friends. It's like, hey, you going to dinner? Yeah, let's go. And you always had someone around. Always.
Seems like your experience in college was quite a bit better than high school.
Oh, yeah, because it was like in high school, they knew me as a child.
Right.
In college, I got to be more myself.
Makes
Then
sense.
they knew me as much as my dad would let me participate, or as far as I could participate. Where in college, oh yeah, it was I was more on my own, but it was also handicap accessible everywhere.
Right.
So it's like, hey Kevin, you want to get together and get pizza at 2 in the morning? You betcha. I'd cross campus by myself,
Hmm.
2 in the morning.
Yeah.
Can't do that out here.
Well, not anymore.
No. Um.
We might need to bring things in for a landing for now.
All right. I'll tell you more about my Christian experience in college later,
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
because that's where I really found my own.
Awesome.
Okay,
That'll be a place to pick up.
my name's Kevin, I'm the typical cripple.
And I'm Bizarre Bizarre.
See you on the next bounce.
Like, subscribe, share, comment.
Thank you.